Right, Alice Springs hitting 42 degrees while Hobart, S barely scraping 21. That is a 21-degree difference across the country this afternoon, and if you think that S wild, wait till you hear what S brewing for the weekend. Is your area about to cop the first serious cold change of the year, or are you looking at another scorcher? Because right now the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active across 3 states, affecting over 8 million Australians, and the models are showing something pretty unusual developing over the next 72 hours. Here, S, what I am going to cover. In the next 60 seconds, I'll give you exact timing for Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, Darwin and Canberra. Then we'll dive into why the Access model and the European model are disagreeing by nearly 100 kilometres on where this system S is going to track. Chuck your location in the comments right now and I'll get back to you tomorrow with a personalised forecast for your specific area. All right, quick timing for the capitals. Sydney, you're looking at 28 today, dropping to 26 tomorrow, then a sharp fall to 22 on Sunday when that southerly buster arrives around midday. Melbourne, currently 27, tomorrow pushing 32 before a late afternoon change, weekend settling around 19. Brisbane staying humid, 31 today, 32 tomorrow, afternoon storms likely both days, weekend unchanged. Perth, you beauty, 34 today, 35 tomorrow, holding steady through the weekend with barely a cloud. Adelaide, 29 now, 31 tomorrow, then down to 23 Sunday afternoon. Hobart, the cool one at 21, barely budging to 22 tomorrow, dropping to 17 with showers Sunday. Darwin, typical wet season stuff, 33 with afternoon storms daily through the weekend. Canberra, 30 today, 34 tomorrow, could be the hottest day, then crashing to 21 Sunday. Now here S, where it gets interesting. That cold front I mentioned, the one that S is going to slam the southeast, there is significant uncertainty about its timing. The Access R model is showing it hitting the Victorian coast Friday evening around 7, but the European model reckons it won't arrive until after midnight early Saturday morning. This 6-hour difference is massive for anyone planning outdoor activities Friday night across Melbourne, Geelong, Ballarat and right through to the border. Let me show you why this matters. If Access is right, Melbourne S looking at a temperature drop from 32 down to 19 within about 3 hours Friday evening. Outdoor diners, sports events, anyone at the footy, you'll feel that change hit hard. But if the European model S correct, you get another few hours of that heat before the cool change arrives overnight. We'll have a much better idea tomorrow morning when the latest model runs come through. For New South Wales, this is going to be a classic southerly buster scenario. Currently, the coastal areas from Wollongong up through Sydney to Newcastle are sitting in warm northeasterlies, pulling that humidity off the Tasman. The change will sweep up the coast Saturday. And here is the thing, the timing varies significantly by location. Wollongong cops it first, around 10 in the morning. Sydney Harbour, you are looking at midday, give or take an hour. Newcastle, early afternoon, probably around 2. Coffs Harbour, you might not feel it properly until late afternoon. And yeah, look, I know this isn't ideal for anyone with beach plans Saturday, but there's actually a silver lining here. The southerly will clear out all that humidity and Sunday is shaping up to be absolutely stunning across the entire coast. Clear skies, 22 to 24 degrees, light winds. Perfect. Queensland, you are in a completely different weather pattern. That monsoonal trough is sitting right across the state and it's not going anywhere fast. Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, you're all looking at afternoon and evening thunderstorms pretty much daily. Some of these could get severe. We are talking wind gusts up to 80 kilometres an hour, heavy rainfall rates of 50 to 80 millimetres in an hour. A bit of hail can be ruled out. The interesting bit, and I'll get to this around the 8-minute mark, is what happens to this trough early next week. But first, let me talk about the west. Perth, you lot are absolutely copping the best weather in the country right now. That high-pressure system parked over the Great Australian Bight is giving you day after day of sunshine. 34, 35 degrees, but here is what makes it bearable. Humidity S only sitting around 30 to 35%. That S proper dry heat. Compare that to Brisbane at 75% humidity, 31 degrees. The feels like temperature there is pushing 38. Fremantle Doctor has been firing most afternoons. That lovely sea breeze kicking in around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, dropping temperatures along the coast by 5 or 6 degrees within an hour. If you are inland, places like Kalgoorlie, Merredin, you don't get that relief. You are just sitting in that heat all day. Kalgoorlie tomorrow, 38 degrees, minimal cloud, no wind to speak of. Bunbury, Geraldton, you're getting similar conditions to Perth, maybe a degree or 2 different. Broome up in the far north, you're in wet season mode, 34 degrees, afternoon storms, high humidity. That's just how it is up there this time of year. South Australia, a bit of a mixed bag. Adelaide I mentioned earlier, but let's talk about the regional centres. Mount Gambier, you right on the path of that cold front. Friday you will hit 28, Saturday you will struggle to reach 19, and there's a decent chance of showers. Whyalla, Port Augusta, you are getting the change too, but not as dramatic. Still going to drop about 8 degrees Saturday. Now, if you haven't chucked your location in the comments yet, do it now. I read every single one, and tomorrow's forecast I'll be going through and giving specific updates for your areas. Doesn't matter if you're in a small town, I'll track it down and give you what the models are showing. Tasmania, let's have a proper look at you. Hobart, Launceston, Devonport, you are all going to see increased cloud Friday, showers developing Saturday. Some of these could be heavy, especially on the west coast. Rainfall total Saturday could push 40 to 60 millimetres in western areas. Hobart, Uri looking at 15 to 25. Temperature-wise, nothing extreme, high teens to low 20s. Pretty typical for this time of year. The one thing that got me a bit concerned for Tasmania, and this connects to what I was saying about the cold front, is the wind. Saturday afternoon, once that front moves through, we could see westerlies gusting to 70 or 80 kilometres an hour, particularly elevated areas. The Central Highlands could be stronger. Not severe weather warning level yet, but the Bureau keeping an eye on it. Check back tomorrow, because if these winds look like intensifying, I'll have the updated guidance. Northern Territory, Darwin, I covered quickly earlier, but Alice Springs, mate, you are in for a rough few days. 42 today, 43 tomorrow, 44 Saturday. That's extreme heat territory. Feels like temperature's going to push 47, 48 with that desert heat. Anyone working outdoors, you need to be taking this seriously. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, they real risks at these temperatures. Drink water before you're thirsty, take breaks in the shade, and if you start feeling crook, stop what you were doing. Catherine, Tennant Creek, you were getting similar heat, low 40s across the board. The only difference is Catherine's got a bit more moisture around, so your storms Friday and Saturday could be pretty active. Acti, Canberra, I mentioned you are potentially looking at 34 tomorrow, and yeah, look, that could be the hottest day we've seen in a while. The thing is, there's still a bit of uncertainty around whether you will get full sun or whether some high cloud moves in during the afternoon. If it stays clear, 34, easy. If cloud develops, you might only hit 31, 32. Sunday's change arrives early afternoon, probably around 2 or 3. Temperatures drop quickly after that. Regional New South Wales, quick run through. Newcastle, 28 today, 27 tomorrow. Southerly Saturday drops you to 22. Wagga Wagga, you inland, so you're cooking a bit more. 33 today, 36 tomorrow. Sunday down to 25. Dubbo, 34, 37, 26. That Saturday, Sunday drop is significant right across inland New South Wales. All right, remember that Queensland monsoonal trough I said I'd come back to? Here what developing. Currently, it is sitting across the state pretty much stationary, but early next week, there potential, and I stress potential because the models aren't locked in on this yet, for it to intensify and develop an embedded low-pressure system somewhere between Townsville and Cairns. If this happens, and the European model is keener on this than Access right now, we could be looking at a period of very heavy rainfall across far north Queensland. I am talking accumulated totals, Monday through Wednesday, potentially exceeding 200 millimetres, that flash flooding risk, river rises, all that. But, and this is important, the GFS model shows this system staying weaker and further offshore. Tomorrow I'll have updated model runs, and we should have much better clarity on whether this is something to genuinely prepare for or whether it's going to stay offshore and fizzle out. Townsville, Cairns for now, just be aware this is on the radar. Tomorrow, check back, I'll have specific rainfall totals and timing if this looks like eventuating. Victoria Regional Centres, Geelong, you're getting that Friday evening change, same time as Melbourne, maybe 30 minutes later. Ballarat, Bendigo, Shepparton, you're all going to feel it Friday night, late evening. The thing about inland Victoria, when these changes come through, you often get gusty winds ahead of the change, then the wind shift, then everything calms down. Shepparton tomorrow could hit 34 before the change, dropping to 18 overnight. That's a 16-degree swing. Make sure you've got layers ready if you're heading out Friday night. Queensland regional centres, rapid fire, Gold Coast 31, afternoon storms, basically same as Brisbane. Sunshine Coast 30, slightly less humid, storms still likely. Toowoomba, you are up on the range, so you are a bit cooler, 28, 29. Storms could be severe there Friday afternoon. Elevated areas often cop it harder. Cairns 31, heavy afternoon storms. I mentioned that potential for next week. Stay tuned on that. Western Australia regional. Geraldton 36 tomorrow, pure sunshine. Albany down on the south coast, you are cooler, 24, 25, beautiful conditions. Esperance similar, mid-20s, hardly a cloud. Hang on. Let me clarify something about those severe storms in Queensland. When I say severe, the Bureau's specific criteria includes wind gusts over 90 kilometres an hour, hail larger than 2 centimetres, heavy rain causing flash flooding or tornadoes. Tomorrow has set up the wind shear S there, the instability S there. So yeah, some of these storms could tick those boxes. Most 1T, most will just be your standard afternoon thunderstorm, loud bit of rain over in 45 minutes, but a few could get nasty. Fire danger, I need to talk about this. Tomorrow, Friday, we've got total fire bans likely across parts of South Australia and Western New South Wales. The combination of temperatures in the mid to high 30s, low humidity, and those northwesterly winds ahead of the change, that is classic fire weather. If you're in a bushfire-prone area, have your plan ready. Know your trigger points. Know where you are going if you need to leave early. This isn't a code red, catastrophic situation, but it's still serious. And actually, I should be more specific about locations for those fire bans. In South Australia, looking at the Mount Lofty Ranges, the York Peninsula, possibly the mid-north districts, New South Wales, the Riverina, Central West, potentially the lower Central West Plains. The Bureau usually releases the official fire danger ratings Friday morning, so check their website. But based on the forecast conditions, those are the areas of concern. One location that could cop something unexpected, and this is speculative but worth mentioning, is the New South Wales Southern Tablelands. There's a chance, small chance, that as that cold front pushes through Saturday, if there is enough moisture around, some of those showers could turn into snow above 1,400 metres. Thredbo, Perisher, you might see a light dusting Saturday night. Not enough for skiing too late in the season anyway, but just an interesting quirk of this particular system. Right, let me give you the weekend big picture because I've thrown a lot of detail at you and sometimes it helps to step back. Eastern Australia, URI getting a significant cool change. Friday S hot, particularly inland. Saturday the change sweeps through. Sunday is cooler and clearer. Western Australia, URI staying stable. Sunshine and heat continues. Northern Australia, wet season patterns, afternoon storms, no major changes. Tasmania, showers Saturday, windy, typical autumn-style weather, even though we're still technically in summer. The key uncertainties I'll be tracking for tomorrow's update: exact timing of that southeast cold front, intensity of Queensland storms Friday, whether that far north Queensland system develops early next week, and those fire danger ratings. 4 things I'll have much better information on tomorrow morning. If there is one thing to remember from this forecast, it is that Friday-Saturday transition for the southeast. That is the main weather story. Everything else, the storms in Queensland, the heat in the west, the heat in the centre, they all ongoing patterns. But that cold change is the event. Before I wrap up, just want to say the comment section S been brilliant lately. People sharing what S actually happening in their areas, comparing it to what I forecasted. That feedback S invaluable. Keep it coming. And like I said earlier, drop your location. I'll get you a personalised update tomorrow. Looking ahead to next week, and this is a very preliminary look, that high pressure system over the Bight is going to drift east, which means the eastern states might actually settle into a calmer pattern Monday, Tuesday. But there is long-range noise, and I mean noise because it S too far out to be confident, showing another potential system developing midweek. I'll have more on that over the weekend. Forecast uncertainty, S a real thing, right? I can give you high confidence for the next 24 hours, pretty good confidence for 48 hours. But once you get beyond that, things get fuzzy. The models are tools, incredibly sophisticated tools, but they are not crystal balls. That is why I'm always saying check back tomorrow, because every day we get new data, the models get refined, the forecast gets sharper. Tomorrow S video will drop same time, and I'll be focusing on that weekend timing in detail, going location by location across the southeast for exactly when you will feel that change. I'll also have the latest on the Queensland situation and proper rainfall totals. Plus, I'll start looking at next week properly because some of you are already asking about planning for early February. Appreciate you watching right through to the end. Weather is never boring in Australia. From tropical Darwin to cool Hobart, from the coast to the outback, there is always something happening. That's what makes this job interesting. Every day is different. Every forecast has its challenges. Stay safe in that heat if you're in the hot zones. Take those storms seriously if you're in Queensland, and enjoy the sunshine if you're lucky enough to be in Perth. Tomorrow, same time, I'll have the updated forecast with all the latest model runs.